Buying a house across state lines can feel like you're trying to hit a bullseye with a blindfold. One wrong move and your dream home becomes a nightmare. Unfortunately, I've seen it happen. But what if I told you there's a way to do it without losing your sanity or your savings? Well, if you're thinking about relocating to Northwest Ohio, you're not alone. Whether you're chasing a slower pace of life, better schools, lower cost of living, or you're just ready for a fresh start, making a move from out of state can be incredibly exciting. But let's be honest, it can also be so extremely overwhelming. Between scheduling showings from hundreds of miles away, understanding unfamiliar neighborhoods, and managing everything remotely, it's a lot. Today, we're going to dive into the best way to start searching for your home and eventually purchase that home even when you're not around or able to come do in-person showings. Hi everyone, my name's Garrett Luhring here with Danberry Realtors and the Luxion Home Team, your host of Moving to Toledo, and I help people just like you move to and around and from Northwest Ohio. On this channel, I give you straight talk about local neighborhoods, schools, real estate strategies, and how to make smart, confident decisions when it comes to your next move. If that sounds helpful, consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss future videos. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to buy a home in Ohio when you live in another state. I'll break down what works, what doesn't, what most people get wrong, and the step-by-step strategy my clients use to buy with confidence, even when they can't be here in person. So let's start with a quick story to set the stage. A couple named Jake and Brianna were moving from Virginia to Perrysburg, Ohio. Jake had just gotten a job in Toledo, and their timeline to relocate was tight, just 60 days. They didn't know anyone in Ohio, didn't have time to fly out for every home, and had no clue where to begin. But fast forward 2 months, and they were moved in under budget and thrilled with their choice. Now you may ask how. Well, let me show you the process. Step 1, get clear on your priorities, not just your wish list. Before you even open Zillow or talk to a lender, you need to clarify your why. Are you moving to be closer to family, looking for a better school district, want a larger yard or more space for remote work? Or is this just your first home and you're kind of open to whatever it may be? But even then, I'm sure you have some criteria you'd like to abide by. These motivations will guide every decision that follows. One thing you can do is write down your ideal commute time, if any. So many people work from home now, but if you are traveling to work and you're going to be doing that every day, that is something you want to consider. Also consider the preferred school quality. Maybe you don't have kids in school at this time, but that will affect the resale value and the amenities of the city from all the tax dollar generation. You also want to consider neighborhood feel. Looking on Google Maps and different apps, you can see the walkability to different areas, grocery stores, gas stations, schools, how private it is, how close it is to shopping, and so on. You're also going to want to determine the home features, such as how many bedrooms, bathrooms, do you need a big yard, do you need a fence, do you need a basement, do you need a garage, different things like that that are going to matter to you when you're living there. You're also going to want to decide your deal breakers. No busy roads, no houses without a garage, no houses with a pool, no houses in this area. You want to start to figure out what your don'ts are, and that'll help you figure out what you are okay with, especially in a market like today where inventory is extremely limited and it's tough to find a home that's 100%, let alone even 80% of what you're looking for. But that's the benchmark I often give. Defining all of this information early on is going to save you tons of time filtering out places that look good online but don't align with your lifestyle. Now, moving on, step 2, you want to partner with a local agent who ideally specializes in relocation, somebody who does this on a regular basis. This is a step most people underestimate. You don't just need an agent, and not all agents are the same. You need a relocation partner. Someone knows how to be your eyes and ears on the ground. You'll want to ask, do they offer personalized video walkthroughs? Not just FaceTime, but full detailed videos that show street noise, give commentation, the natural light, layout flows, and something that can be referenced time and time again for buyers who can't be here or schedule multiple showings. You'll want someone who can get you in contact with local vendor connections for inspections, repairs, moving, utilities, dining, entertainment, everything that's going on in the city. You want to make sure you're involved with somebody who keeps a pulse on that. You're also going to want someone who is clear and honest in the feedback they give you. Are they just trying to sell you something and get you into a home without caring if you like it 6 months down the road? Or are they pointing out all the small details that you probably would have noticed if you were there, but they're going above and beyond to call them out and bring them to your attention, even if it's not the structure falling apart? But if they notice there's older wood windows that are painted shut, that should be called out and not glossed over. One big tip: Google reviews matter more than big name brokerages, so much more. Every brokerage has tons of agents and none of them are the same. Look for agents with consistent praise for responsiveness, clarity, and being helpful to out of town buyers. Now, looking at step 3, understand Ohio's real estate process. Ohio is a buyer friendly state in many ways, and here's a few things you should know. You don't need an attorney to buy a home in Ohio. Your agent and the title company handle most of that, where some states are very attorney heavy. Home inspections in Ohio are very common and highly recommended. There was a few years when the market was going crazy. Some people were waiving inspections. However, I 100% always recommend having an inspection, even if you're not planning to negotiate with it, just so you have that peace of mind and know what you're investing in. Also, contingencies are respected, but in hot markets, cash offers or waived inspections will give you an edge, along with appraisal gaps. If you're willing to pay more than the appraised value, or tell the seller up front, I'm not going to negotiate with you during the inspection, or you even have a cash offer and there's no appraisal needed, no financing, and you can close in 10 days to 14 days. All of those are different things that we're seeing in this market currently and can go a long way when you're writing your offer on a competitive home. Also, earnest money is something that is typically about 1% of the purchase price in our market. It's going to vary. You can change this amount to whatever you're most comfortable with when you write your offer, but just to give you a high level idea of what you might expect. Also, ask your agent about the types of properties that make sense for out of state buyers. Newer builds, lower maintenance homes, or those in established neighborhoods tend to create fewer surprises. Now, looking at step 4, get pre approved early and preferably with a local lender. Don't wait until you found the perfect home to contact that lender. You may not have time to get your pre approval before they accept another offer. Ideally, do this even before you start touring homes or having your agent tour homes for you. Out of state buyers often lose out because they're not ready to make an offer when the perfect home hits. A good lender will help you understand Ohio specific taxes, insurance costs, and closing timelines. They will provide pre approval letters quickly for specific homes and can work with you on providing ones that don't show your full hand but give the seller of the home you're offering on clarity that you do have the funds. They can also explain to you loan options such as VA, conventional, jumbo loans, physician loans, and figure out which applies best to your specific situation. Bonus: if you're a veteran or active duty military, you'll find Ohio is very VA loan friendly, especially in this market. If you're working with the right agent, we can put together an offer for your VA loan that is strong, not overextending yourself, and will get accepted so all parties are happy walking away. Now, step 5, use virtual showings the right way. Yes, you can buy a home without seeing in person, but you're going to want to do it right. And here's what smart buyers ask for. One is full property tours inside and out. Something I do for all of my clients is I will do typically a 15 to 25-minute video starting from the front yard, going around the property, going into the property, and commentating on all of the items I see that I think are important to them. You're going to want to look for neighborhood walkthroughs if possible, either online, or you can have your agent go through the neighborhood and do a driving tour to show you what the streets look like. You might even get a feel for what kind of families live in the neighborhood, what the noises are like, and so on. You'll want to get close-up footage of potential red flags. So think cracks in the wall, shifting in the foundation. I had mentioned older windows, roof condition, HVAC system, water heater. Get all of that on video so that there are no surprises when you go to the inspection or when you show up to the home in the future. Now, this is something I talk to a lot of agents that they don't do, but that's agent commentary. Real talk, not just sales talk, but an honest opinion showing you the house in all of its glory and not so glorious features, just like if you were there looking at it in person and taking a magnifying glass to that house. You should leave the video feeling like you stood in the home and can imagine and picture yourself living there. Next, once you've found that right home, step 6 is writing smart and strategic offers. This is also where the right agent really shines. Since you're not here in person, your offer needs to stand out with clarity and professionalism. It needs to be communicated properly and shown in the best light to that listing agent. You're going to want to include any needed contingencies such as inspection, appraisal, your closing date, whether you're willing to give possession to the seller after closing, amount of earnest money, and there are other options too that you could always discuss with your agent to make your offer stand out more. You're going to want to show serious intent with your financing already in place, whether that's a cash buyer who's showing bank statements as proof of funds, or someone who's getting a loan and having that pre approval in hand, ready to submit with that offer right when you're ready. You're going to want to also allow for a remote closing timeline or a power of attorney if needed. This doesn't come up a whole lot. However, an option you have is to close remotely. We can have our title company send you a notary to wherever you're located. They'll bring the closing documents and you can sign there. If you're cash, you may even be able to sign online. It's getting easier and easier. In this market, in this area, many sellers appreciate clean, easy offers. And it doesn't really matter if you're local or not, but you're going to want to have it backed by an agent with a good reputation in this local market who can vouch for you, negotiate, and present your offer in the highest form possible to make sure you get it accepted. Now, moving into the contract period, step 7, you're going to want to navigate inspections and repairs. However, you're obviously going to be remote. Your agent should help schedule inspections, meet contractors if needed, and talk through what your options are and help you get quotes if necessary. What you need to know, ask for inspection videos or detailed reports with pictures. In our market in Northwest Ohio, and especially if you work with me, any inspector you work with is going to send you typically a 30 plus page report with photos, descriptions, and feedback on every part of the home that they went through. I typically use the same trusted inspector, so get with me if you'd like recommendations. Also, keep in mind, don't hesitate to renegotiate if major issues arise. Now, if you wrote in your offer that you're not going to negotiate already during inspection and it's for info purposes only, you may not have this luxury, but don't be afraid to negotiate. I often tell my clients 2 places I stand out the most are negotiation and marketing. Again, you really want to lean on your agent to recommend trustworthy repair people. Get multiple quotes if you have to. I always send my clients multiple contractors for any repair so that they can make sure they're working with the people who are most aligned with them and their values. While negotiating, sometimes sellers will even credit you at closing rather than do repairs themselves. This can be better than lowering the purchase price because then your mortgage will stay the same as you expected, but you'll have real cash to go do the repairs and have the home in working efficient order from there on out. Moving on, step 8, plan for closing and putting your moving logistics in plan. You can close on a house in Ohio without being here, and that includes remote closings and online notarization, mobile notary services when a rep comes to you, mailing paperwork in advance, but you'll also want to coordinate utilities, insurance, and internet before closing day. And you'll want to schedule a final walkthrough or have your agent at least do that final walkthrough either via video or FaceTime before you close so that you know the house is in the same condition as when you wrote your offer. Your agent will help you change utilities, call insurance if you need recommendations, and do all of the other items associated with moving into your new home. Finally, step number 9, welcome yourself home. Whether you drive across the country or you arrive with a moving truck in tow, walking into a home you bought from another state can be surreal. But when it's done right, it feels like stepping into something you've already been a part of. Now, let's be real for a second. Not everyone gets this right. I've seen out of state buyers get burned by relying on Zillow alone or working with agents who rush them into offers without context or get them in front of the wrong homes and make them believe that that might have been what they were looking for. I've seen buyers miss deadlines, overpay, or discover problems with homes far too late after it's closed. It happens when you treat long distance home buying like an online order. This is your future. Don't leave it to chance. That's why I spend extra time with my out of state clients up front. We go deep into expectations. I record personalized neighborhood and home tours. I break down market conditions. I send the homes to you as fast as possible. I connect with the listing agent to see where we compete, and I'll connect you with local lenders, inspectors, and movers who will actually show up and take care of you. That's what it takes. And this isn't just about getting the deal done, it's about giving you peace of mind while you're juggling 1,000 other parts of your move. The moment you close on that home from miles away and know without a doubt you made the right choice, that's what we're working toward. That's the payoff, no regret. No blind spots, just clarity and excitement for what's next. If you're thinking about buying a home in Ohio while living out of state, it can be done and it can be done well. But you need the right plan, the right team, and the right mindset. If you take the time to set this up strategically, you'll get to enjoy the move instead of stress over it. If this video helped, check out the next one on screen about the best school districts in Northwest Ohio. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on all things Toledo. Thank you so much for joining me again today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.